Don't miss a special offer on November 19th from Botox Cosmetic Anabotulinum Toxin A, the one and only product of its kind FDA approved for over 20 years. Buy one $50 gift card and get one free while supplies last. Terms and conditions apply. For prescribing information and box warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet. So switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second, unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Gray Oz. You know, I don't like to name names, but Eric S., Neil L., and Jennifer M. all joined the Supercast this week. At first, I thought they were three naughty Climax teens sneaking off behind the half-pipe to do whatever, but then they told me, no, Gray, we joined Supercast, and that really was awesome. Hey, it's a perfect time to join. You can get a guest membership for that special person in your life. And we're about to do some very special high stream live stream that's happening tomorrow just for Supercast members, as well as being able to get the behind the scenes podcast that we do, especially while we're traveling with the podcast internationally. So go check it out. It's mega.supercast.com. We would love to get to 500 members because that's also when we're going to do a new mini-series. So please, if you've got a few bucks that's lying around every month, throw it at Mega and we will be forever in your debt. Thanks.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, the Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Halle Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. Ooh, I find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
Ain't no tricks, because Christ has crucifixed it, Halle. How are you?
Oh, that is awesome.
Isn't it? We are so excited today because we are recording live with suggestions that came in from our Supercast members. Especially, we want to give thanks for them today because, I mean, it is just awesome that we've got folks who have funny ideas that they want to hear show up on the podcast. And the best way to do that, obviously, is using money. How are you, Halle? What's going on this week?
You know I am blessed. I just got a new electric bike and it is awesome.
Oh, really?
And I'm tooling around my neighborhood constantly, but all I have to do is barely pedal and the thing does it all for me. I can put it on 5 different speeds. I can zoom up to like 30 miles an hour, go straight up hills, no problem. And I feel like I'm still getting my steps, even though I don't have to put in any effort.
Well, there's something about bikes that I find a little bit woke. And so I generally will stay. I mean, I'll do a fan bike at the gym sometimes.
Ooh.
But electric bike, I would just be careful. Could be a slippery slope there.
I know. Electric things really are kind of just too dangerously close to the woke stuff that, you know, these liberals are trying to push on everyone, you know, trying to get us off fossil fuels as if it's a problem. It's not. These liberals trying to, get us to do sustainable resources and all that stuff. Conk shoe, snooze fest. I think electric cars are basically a liberal propaganda machine, except for Teslas, which I believe are big supporters of the GOP, which means they're good.
I am hoping that he just comes out with a gas car because I would love that.
I bet he will. Because there's a real backlash in Christian America and corporate America, I think, against, all the woke stuff like electric cars.
Yeah, we don't want electric. It's hard though sometimes, isn't it? Because I guess this morning I was using my blender and that is technically electric.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I use my microwave for every meal I cook, and that's electric too. I mean, it's plugged into a power outlet.
and a crock pot, use that a lot too.
I have to charge my iPhone too, but
I guess those are all electric, aren't they?
that's why God gave us drills and oil so
Right.
we could drill, baby, drill.
Well, let's drill down into some of these things that folks have been asking us about. And one that did come in today was everybody is really asking for an update about my personal life. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned her before, but...
Hi, Mason Bannerman.
No.
Oh, Tiffer.
Yeah, Tiffa.
Tiffer.
My lady friend Tiffa and I are doing great.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome, Halle. We just really respect each other. We are doing life together, and we are doing life together at least 1 to 2 days a month for a few hours at a time because, it is just it's September, it's back to school. It's a really busy time for me at Climax. And I told her, look, this is what you're going to get. And I've definitely always been very clear about that, which is, yes, I do think this is on the right path, probably toward marriage. But right now, you're going to get this much time from me. And that is how it's going to be. And that's been great.
Forgive me if this is too personal a question, Gray, but how do you picture marriage? Because, I can't even imagine, to be honest with you, I can't imagine being single or dating, so to speak, nowadays. And, you're out there dating and courting and, looking for love and preparing your heart for the person that God has prepared for you, your helpmate, your godly wife, this godly marriage that's waiting for you. When you picture it, what do you picture?
Well, Halle, I love to use metaphor because that's the best way to really get a point across. And sometimes I think of marriage like an ultra marathon. Have you ever seen those guys?
Oh, where they run 100 miles?
Exactly.
Oh.
Now, I would never really do an ultra marathon because honestly, I just can't afford to lose that, bulked muscle mass that I've been working on so hard. But, the thing they always say about ultra marathons is you prepare, it's going to be long and painful, and you're going to have to do everything you can to stay mentally fit and in it. And so after years and months of training and practice, eating right, sleeping, taking your supplements, running just over and over and over the race in your mind, as well as putting in miles every single day. That, to me, the preparation for the ultimate race, which will be marriage, is what I'm in right now. And I know that marriage is going to be like an ultra marathon. So I'm just in that really important pre-game where I'm preparing for that race.
Okay. But how do you picture the day to day, living in the house and what you're looking forward to?
Well, Halle, I guess I'll use a metaphor again, which is, when I think about marriage, oftentimes I'm thinking about a hallway with a lot of doors. And behind each of those doors is a different lady. And you're going down the hallway and you're going, who's in here? Oh. No, sorry. Close the door. And it's as if, because have you ever had that dream where you're going in a house and you're looking for somebody and you open a door and every time you open it's not the person you're looking for and you kind of surprise them?
Oh, not yet.
Oh, well, that's a dream I have most weeks. And so I kind of imagine marriage to be like that, where you're going down a hallway with a lot of doors. You're going, oh, so sorry. You close it, open it up again, thinking, oh, there she is. Nope, not her. And eventually you get to that final red door. And it's a bit scary. It's a bit tense. And you're going, but this is the one. And even though you open the door and the person inside is still maybe surprised or scared and not expecting it, you realize she is the one that God has prepared. And I think marriage is going to be a lot like that.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more like, do you picture yourself coming down in the morning and she's made coffee and it smells good and she greets you with a beautiful protein heavy breakfast and you hug for a while? Do you kiss before you leave for work every
Kiss,
morning?
maybe, yeah.
Do you schedule your intimate time, or do you leave it to be spontaneous? Do you have a regular committed date night? Do you, express the 5 Christian love languages of words, gifts, affirmation, time well spent, and paintings? What's your love language? How do you express to her, God's incredible love, even in an eros way? We got agape, we got eros, we got fidelity, which I think is friendship, like Jonathan and David had, like you and Clay Mason Bannerman have.
Well, I'm not going to actually, I don't feel comfortable getting into any of that with you, Hallie, except because, as I said, I'm preparing for that race with my wife. But what I do feel comfortable talking about is that first one, which is the protein breakfast. And I'll just tell you, this was such a sweet, cute thing that Tifa did the other day. And she's been going through it, incidentally, because I'm not sure if I told you this.
Clay Mason Bannerman.
But, Clay is obviously dating Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
And Mickey, or we think Bobby Lou, we can't find her right now.
For those of you who don't know, Gray and his best friend Clay Mason Bannerman, they're dating twins who turn out to be triplets. Tiffer and Mickey and Barbie Lou, all 3 of these girls.
Awesome.
It's awesome. And they're not one person playing 3 girls just so they can date 3 different guys. It's 3 different girls dating. Well, is Barbie Lou still hanging out with Donovan, or?
I don't even really ask. I don't feel comfortable. But what I will say is, Tifa is having a very hard time because Mickey has gone missing and we don't know what happened to her. And in fact, since she's gone missing, I haven't actually been able to talk to Tifa about it because I've been, as I said, busy before. But the other day, I came downstairs, I went out on the porch to do just a quick morning devotional as well as some of these really interesting squat pattern that helps drain lymphatics.
Oh, awesome.
And I always do that in the morning. I'll go out on the front porch. I'll do the squats. I'll do some prayer. And
what a great way to connect with God.
Absolutely. And I looked at the front porch mat where, it usually says welcome or whatever Clay is put out there. I'm not sure it changes. And in a nice big casserole dish, there was a 48 egg casserole. Wow. And it said, love ya, Tifa. And she had woken up and made a casserole, a high protein breakfast casserole.
Awesome.
And so I am comfortable talking about a high protein breakfast. And I was thinking, this is what it's got to be like to be married. So she left that with a note on it. And in fact, I haven't seen her since. I think she's just really busy trying to find Mickey right now because, as we said, Mickey's gone missing. In the last place she was seen was a Home Depot parking lot.
Wow. So Tiffer and Barbie Lou are hot on the case?
They're searching high and low. But they said she is prone to disappearing, or Clay and I have said she is prone to disappearing from time to time, just because she'll say, hey, I need time alone. I need space. And as a content creator, sometimes she suffers from content creation burnout, and she'll go off the grid for a while. So that's what I think is happening.
Well, forgive me if this is too personal a question, but what do the triplets look like? Because, the Supreme Court just ruled that law enforcement can pick up and detain and kidnap or disappear anyone who appears to be Hispanic or anything like that. Do they look like they might, come from maybe another country that's not America? Because she could have been swiped by ICE.
Yeah, that is a good question, Hallie. She is very tan, but that's just part of her look because she is a YouTube influencer, fitness influencer, and you have to be very tan. So, but her hair is blonde. I don't think it's natural. But I do, that's not something that crossed my mind because obviously I don't worry about stuff like that. I don't think either the twins or the triplets worry about that. But she is very tan. And as I said, she was in a Home Depot parking lot. But I think it's probably she just needs some space we know, Halle, we're technically content creators. And when you're making this much content, you can get that burnout, can't you?
Yeah. And, you've become an honorary Christian American.
Yes.
But other people who, happen to have other accents, there's not much.
I don't really have an accent anymore.
No, I don't even hear it.
No.
And so I think you're safe because you have the right look and not the look that the Supreme Court says is snatch worthy.
Well, I am snatched.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
Oh, wow.
I've been snatched for a while, Halle.
Oh, what is this like Skibbity or 6'7"?
Well, I am 6'7" snatched for sure. I'm definitely not Skibbity snatched.
Oh, but you are 6 or 7 snatched?
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
6'7"
what does
snatched.
that mean? See, this brings me to...
That just means 6'7", Halle.
I know my kids keep talking about 6'7", and it's some kind of code where they're trying to make a silly, absurd language that adults can't understand so they can like speak to each other in code, which is really rude. I mean, in my house, in the house that I established with my lovely husband, Lance Lamont, we routinely would speak to each other in Pig Latin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that as an Australian, but like we would speak in code so our kids couldn't understand us and we could talk right in front of them the same way, the ladies do at the nail salon.
Sure.
When they talk to each other and you can't understand what they're saying. We would do that so the kids couldn't understand. Well, these gosh darn kids are trying to turn it around on us, not their place and not okay, but kids are trying to speak in code.
Well,
now,
if you ever need help with that, Halle, I know it all because obviously I am ensconced with these kids. I'm not that far away from the experience they're having now anyway. I really have and understand that teen mentality.
Because you're so young.
But a lot of it doesn't even matter about the words. It's all about context and inflection. And so 6'7", there are times when 6'7" can mean devil number, heaven number.
That's what I figured.
But in a different context, a different inflection. It's an inflective, teens speak an inflective language, Halle. So,
really?
Yeah, what you have to realize is it's all about inflection and all about when they're saying 6'7", a skibbity toilet, or gat, any of these things. But what I'm saying in this context right now is I am definitely snatched.
Wow. I don't definitely follow what snatched exactly means, but I'm assuming it means an insanely low BMI,
Yes.
and a deep, deep tan that shows the contouring of the body muscles.
Definitely.
Okay. See, I thought when the kids started with this 6 or 7 stuff that they were kind of talking about, the 6 is the devil's number, 7 is God's number.
Well, it could also be just like, hey, what time are you getting there?
Yeah. But I thought they were referring to an angel and a demon on their shoulders.
They could be. It's inflective.
I see. Inflective. That makes sense. I am familiar because I've long time studied Koine Greek, which is also an inflective language, and the meaning can only come through the spoken word, which makes it difficult to understand meaning when it's only being read and it's a dead language and you can't hear the inflection and you got to make a lot of decisions as you translate. But I trust and believe that everyone who's translating anything out of the Koine Greek New Testament is all being guided by the Holy Spirit and getting the exact translation exactly right, because the Bible is God breathed. So all the translations must be as well.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned. But I never wanted to learn the language that the Old Testament is in, because frankly, it just seems like too much for my brain, honestly. Just trying to learn the numeric, alphabetical looking squiggly marks that are Koine Greek was hard enough. I can't then, learn some Hebrew letters. It's just too much.
It's too much.
And the New
we have
Testament
a new covenant.
is where it all is.
We've got
man.
a new
That's
covenant.
Jesus.
You got to trust and obey. There's no other way.
Amen.
Incidentally, speaking of trust and obey, how did Trunk or Treat go last night?
Awesome. It was awesome. We picked up so much candy behind people's cars in the parking lot. I mean, the kids were raking it in, which is awesome to let the kids know that they can get candy at church and not have to go around to strangers' houses who are going to be putting razors down their throats.
Yes, for those who don't know, Trunk or Treat, we do it at the beginning of October. It's a way to get a second, more positive Halloween in there before Halloween, where most of the kids end up just doing Halloween anyway. But we have it so that everybody just packs their cars out in the parking lot, fills up the trunks with candy, and kids go around and they go absolutely crazy. Everybody's really just high on sugar. And I would say it's the equivalent of, the inmates are running the asylum at the Halle, and I try to sort of stay away from it. But I'm glad that I'm glad that it was a positive experience.
It was great. And if I'm honest, I grab a lot of the candy and pocket it myself, in case.
Is that allowed?
Well, of course. I mean, the candy's supposed to be for the kids, but I'm a kid at heart and I need a little sugar bump throughout the day. And I love having candy in a nice, travel size. So I wake up, talking about you someday being married and coming down having protein breakfast. Ever since Trunk or Treat, I've been like, oh, this is so convenient because I come down in the morning and I've just been popping a quick, little travel size Three Musketeer and, being on my way. And, someone here in the chat was asking what my home routine is with Lance. Do we schedule intimacy or do we let it be spontaneous? Do we have a morning routine?
Was somebody asking that?
Set aside a date night?
Yeah, do we need to even know?
Usually what happens, if you want a little peek inside the Labant household, usually one of my corgis or my Frenchies, starts to burrow up from near my feet to near my neck in the morning, and we're all snuggling under the covers. And then usually somebody, either bagel or pancake or pajamas, will start licking me on the chin, and I'll know that that's time for a wee. And I take the dogs out. Lance usually sleeps for a while. I make breakfast for the whole family. I get the kids off to school.
Is Lance working nights now that he's got his new job?
His schedule is all over the place. And so sometimes he sleeps in and sometimes he's gone by the moment I wake up. Usually, and forgive my French, but I do know he's still home and awake. If I hear, forgive my French, if I hear a big...
What's that?
It's usually the sound of him passing gas as he passes through the side of the kitchen into the garage and gets in his Tahoe and takes off. So if I've heard a wee fart in the morning, I know that he's on the move and on his way. That's usually our routine. Would I prefer a peck on the lips and a good morning, sweetie? Or,
not in the morning. You haven't even brushed your teeth yet.
Oh, well, yeah. And maybe
if the dog is licking you there?
Maybe he's being respectful. But Lance and I, we don't schedule intimacy because we feel like it would take away from the spontaneity, which also doesn't happen, but could. And yeah, I think he likes having a different kind of schedule where he gets to mix it up and not have to be gone from 9 to 5 every day. And life is good in the Labant household.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, Halle, and I'm not really sure why we went down that road, but I think spontaneity is something that is important in any relationship. You just want to plan for the spontaneity, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And routine is also really nice.
Clay, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but my friend Clay Mason Bannerman and I, we even schedule just a hang. We are on such an awesome routine. Obviously, I'm helping him with his son a lot, Popsicles. And when you've got a child around, you've got to have routine. I mean, children are really they're like rats. Or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They need to, you ring a bell, they do this. You ring a bell, they do that. Now, Popsicles won't really do that because Clay, I don't tell him how to raise Popsicles, but I'm just saying, hey, when we ring this bell, he should do the thing that we want, or he doesn't get some food or whatever. And he doesn't, Clay breaks up the pattern with his spontaneity. And I just like to say, you put him on you have a routine so that spontaneity can happen.
Awesome.
Like you ring a bell, hey, maybe we give you a different kind of food. food.
Oh, that's cool.
And
You could give him a bell choir and then he'd have a full menu.
yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
You know something, and actually, it was a bit scary for a moment because we thought we lost Popsicles. Speaking of trunks and treats, Clay had put a bunch of just what I'll call crud in his trunk that, Popsicles is really into pirate's booty and those disgusting seaweed snacks. I guess Clay had a bunch of those in his trunk. Popsicles jimmied the lock, got in there, closed himself in the trunk of the Cybertruck. Oh. There's no way to get yourself out from inside. And he just had a whole bunch of junk in his trunk that Popsicles just went absolutely ham on.
Oh, no.
And when I say he went ham on it, there was ham in there too. So we hadn't seen him for 3-4 hours. And eventually, Clay goes, "Have you seen Popsicles?" I'm going, "No." We're looking for him. Popsicles. And of course, I'm thinking, oh, he went to the neighbors. Donovan Geo hadn't seen him at all. We go back. He's just absolutely passed out in the back of the Cybertruck in a pile of wrappers with a bunch of hot ham all over him.
Oh, whoa.
It was just disgusting. And imagine cleaning that up.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, I think routine is important as well. Routine and spontaneity, both. And, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I start every single day with my walk through the Bible devotional, and then I do my prayer list in the shower. Preaching that, I always start every day by tooting my own horn on the top and the bottom. I have to blow my nose to open up my face in the morning, and then I have to and just send something out the back door to open up all the pipes and the thises and the that's. So, I think there's a certain amount of
bless you. God bless you, Hallie. God bless you.
Thank you for bringing God into it. I will take that blessing. Well,
yeah,
anyway.
When it comes to kids, Hallie, you know what I always say? I say, ring a bell, don't ask, tell. And everybody needs to just follow, because that is how you keep structure that leads to spontaneity.
Yeah. And the trunk or treat went off without a hitch. We did have a little bit of drama surrounding costumes because a lot of people dressed up, almost everybody. And, sometimes it can be a slippery slope. People can use Halloween to dress like sluts. I'll say it. I'm sorry.
Yep. And
forgive my French, but they want to be a sexy bunny rabbit, a sexy brat doll, a sexy brat summer, a sexy 6 or 7, a sexy skippity.
I saw somebody as a sexy Coco Melon, and I was like, what is going on?
I don't care for it.
Sexy Doug, that cartoon.
Yeah. No bueno. So any hoodles, most people are pretty appropriate. We allow for some costumes.
Oh, because, we have about 5 different costumes you can choose from.
Well,
you can do Angel.
Mm-hmm. I always do a biblical character. I almost always do
Bible.
Miriam, where I just put on one of my favorite plush bathrobes, and then I put a baby doll in a basket, and I say it's baby Moses, and I'm Miriam, his big sister, who's going to put him in the river where a princess is going to find him, and he's going to go live a life of privilege before killing an Egyptian whose life didn't really matter anyway. So I'm mostly Miriam. I don't see a lot of biblical characters, though, even though I'm trying to lead by example. But
this year I saw a lot of people doing Steve, which was fun. A lot of the kids putting on big sort of trench coats and standing on each other's shoulders. That was very cool.
My kids have many times brought up the fact that, like, Mom, why are costumes at all controversial at Twin Hills campus when we have full weekend series where Steve is dressed up like Iron Man, Steve is dressed up, in these different genres. Steve routinely dresses up like what's his name from Mission Impossible.
Tom Cruise.
He always dresses up like Tom Cruise during our Mission Unstoppable series that we do every year about how the gospel is unstoppable.
Oh, this year I think he's updating it. He's doing Jack Preacher, where he's preaching about the cross.
Gray, you should be Samson speaking a biblical outfit.
Yeah, I know, but I just never thought, like, do I keep my hair this way? When my hair is this way, because obviously I just got it cut, I don't want to be weak Samson. And because it just that would be really confusing to people if they saw me with this haircut and then this body.
And it might cause some women to stumble in the flesh, if I'm honest with you, Gray. If you dressed up as Samson for the Halloween trunk or treat at Twin Hills Community Church, I'm afraid some women would stumble. And here's why. We know exactly how Samson dressed. It would be very easy to pull off that costume. He had on some leather, rawhide, brown, form-fitting pants that were kind of capri length.
Yeah.
And they were low rise. So his hip bones stuck out, and that V that men get in their belly with all the six pack and the everything.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
It would just barely be covering his crack in the back. It would be these tight, skin tight, capri skin leather pants. And then on the top, he has absolutely nothing except for maybe a little bit of contouring, shadowing, makeup on the six pack and on the traps and delts and buys and tries and all that stuff. And then the only other part of his costume is that he has these wrist cuffs on both sides.
Yep.
He has these sort of leather wrist cuffs and long flowing hair. So it'd be an easy costume to assemble because all you need is the tight leather pants, low rise and capri length, and the wrist cuffs. But I'm here to tell you, Gray, if you're walking around with nothing but some low rise leather pants and wrist cuffs, it's going to be what we call a problem for a lot of the Christian gals around campus.
A problem?
A big, big problem. I tell my kids all the time,
problem.
You don't want a problem with me.
Well, I don't know, Hallie. You know, the way I think about that is if it's biblical, it's fair game. I would say any biblical character is fair game. Except for on the ladies' side, you know, I don't want anybody dressing like Rahab or, you know, I wouldn't want somebody...
Dorcas?
Well, no, you could do Dorcas, but you know, I wouldn't want somebody doing Delilah. I wouldn't want somebody.
No, you don't.
Doing something that you know, like I wouldn't want somebody doing any of David's wives. But I do think that it would be very, very good if men would portray biblical characters more.
Yeah.
I just think you know sometimes you have to say to the ladies, hands off the merchandise. You know, you can look, but you cannot touch.
And honestly, that might be why the writers of the Bible really, you know, left all the women out of the stories, because it's just going to give other women bad ideas. And the women who do get mentioned are pretty troubling, pretty troublesome characters. Okay. We don't need people dressing up as most Christian biblical female characters, because you got your Jezebels, you got your Magdalenes, you got these women who are hell bent.
I saw like a 9-year-old girl dressed as Salome this year, and it was awesome because her costume was so effective. Because on the, you know, she had a plate and she had a bunch of different heads in her bag, and she could switch out the head, you know, as a doll's head for not just John the Baptist, but, you know, any of our great Christian martyrs she had on there. And I thought that was really fun for a kid.
Salome, wow, that's the woman who cut off the heads.
Yeah, cut off the head of John the Baptist.
Yikes. I mean, that is stuff that I will not allow in movies in my home, but will allow into the classrooms of the United States of America public schools to kindergartners and first and second graders who do need to know about beheadings, you know, in the Fertile Crescent thousands of years ago, you know, to all make a way for them to get blood sacrifice saved, which is such a great message to turn relevant today, which is the mission of my life and of Twin Hills. Gosh darn it. I didn't think I'd be out here stating the mission of Twin Hills, but you know what? It's Sunday and blood sacrifice is here for us all week long, but boy, does it feel good on a Sunday.
All right, folks, that's the episode. Many thanks to our Supercast members for those great suggestions. Hey, speaking of Supercast, it's a great time to join. There's a free trial, and that is the best way to make sure that Mega keeps going.
If you'd like to listen ad-free, if you would like behind-the-scenes podcasts, and if you would like Discord access and much, much more, go to mega.supercast.com and become a supporter today. That's mega.supercast.com.
And really, it is the way we keep going, so please consider a Supercast membership. A very special thanks to our founding members. That's Bobby and Betty, Nana and T-Pop, Adrian O, Kristen A, and Anonymous. You know who you are. Thanks.
And as always, I'm Holly Laurent playing Hallie Labont. And that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas.
See you next time.
Disney Plus wants to know, are you ready? For Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, now streaming on Disney Plus.
Let's do this.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Hey, you weren't listening to me.
I said Thunderbolts, The New Avengers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Meet the New Avengers.
That's a cool name.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, rated PG-13, now streaming on, you guessed it, Disney Plus.